a goner. Now here's the situation. You see what's behind me? Really, really weird, right? Well, the other day I was just walking through my backyard, and then suddenly I fell down a really deep hole. Ah! And then suddenly I ended up here. Where is here, you ask? That's a good question. I have no idea. Like I've sat here and wondered where I am for hours. All I've done is wonder and wonder and wonder in this land. Might as well call it, I don't know, Wonderland or something. Nah, that doesn't sound good. Anywho, y'all have any guesses where I am? Because I feel if I found out where I was, then I might be able to get out of here. Know what I'm saying? So, take a good look. Got any ideas? Easy, how are ya?
Good, how are you?
Oh, you know, as good as I can be right now.
Huh? By the way, where are you?
Your guess is as good as mine. I was just telling the kids I fell down a crazy hole, and now I'm here.
Well, have you tried the rhyme?
Rhyme? What are you talking about?
You don't know the rhyme? I thought everybody knew the rhyme.
Well, I haven't. What is it?
Well, whenever you lost, you say the rhyme, and just like that, you know where you are.
Are you kidding? What's the rhyme? Tell me the rhyme.
Okay, here it goes. Roger, Dodger, Buttercup.
Roger, Dodger, Buttercup.
Rumble, crumble, goozle, flup.
Rumble, grumble, goozle, flop. What? Why didn't it work? Was that a joke? Did you make that up?
I did. It was pretty funny though, right?
No, it wasn't, Maisie. I'm fighting for my life over here, and you got me acting like a citizen of Whoville.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
It's all right, but seriously, do you know how to get me out of here?
Actually, I do. It's kind of crazy though.
Crazier than that rhyme?
Not really.
Okay, what is it?
All right, here it is. Back up.
Back up?
Yeah, I think it might help.
All right, if you think so. Whoa! I know this place. It's our local fairgrounds. Thanks, Maisie.
No problem, Carl.
How'd you know that was gonna work?
I had a hunch. Plus, sometimes it helps to see the bigger picture.
The bigger picture? What do you mean by that?
Well, it was hard to tell where you were just by the little we saw, but backing up showed us a bigger picture and helped us realize what the situation really was.
Wow, that's really smart.
Thanks, Carl. It helped Job, so I figured it would help you.
Job was stuck at a local fair?
No, not exactly. You see, Job was going through a rough time.
Yeah, that's the understatement of the year.
Last week, we talked about how Job's feelings were so big that we needed to talk to God, and God listened.
And that's the end, folks.
Well, not really.
What? What more could have happened?
Well, what happens when we usually talk to someone?
They talk back?
That's right, and guess what? God talked back to Job.
Ha!
After Job told God all about his feelings, God had a very big message for Job. Let's read what God said. Job 38, 4-7. Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me if you understood. Who marked off its dimensions? Surely you know. Who stretched a measuring line across it? On what were its footings set? Or who laid its cornerstone? While the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted for joy.
Uh-oh, somebody's in trouble.
It's nothing like that. I think God was trying to get Job to understand that there was so much he knew nothing about. God asked Job more things like, can he talk to the clouds, or send lightning bolts, or provide food for all the animals?
Well, the answer is no. Job couldn't do any of that. Right?
No, Carl, no human can do any of those things.
Aha! That explains everything!
It does?
Not one bit! Explain, please.
Well, think about it. At first, Job continued to praise God, even though all these bad things were happening to him. But as time dragged on, he couldn't handle it anymore, so Job talked to God about everything in his life that was going wrong. He was upset with the situation he was in right now. but God wanted Job to see the bigger picture.
How would God do that?
Well, you just heard it in God's own words.
Huh? To be honest, it sounded like God was playing 20 questions.
But really, God was helping Job get another view. God was reminding Job who created the universe, who provides food for the animals, and makes sure the birds in the air are fed. It's God. Always has been and always will be.
Oh!
If God can do all those things that we can't do, not even a little, it shows us that God is capable of doing anything. That means even our biggest problems won't be a problem for God at all. So we have to trust that God can take care of it. We have to look at the bigger picture. This world and our lives aren't about us. It's about loving God and loving the people God has created.
I couldn't agree more. I love that God sees the bigger picture, so we can too.
Well, you heard it, Journey Kids. Today's big idea is God sees the bigger picture. Can you say it with me really loud? Ready? 1, 2, 3. God sees the bigger picture.
God sees the bigger picture.
And now really, really quiet. Ready? 1, 2, 3. God sees the bigger picture.
God sees the bigger picture. Good job, everyone.
Why did the car stop when it saw the monster truck?
I don't know why.
It had a nervous breakdown.
Oh, that's really funny. Who helps the little pumpkins cross the road to school?
I'm not sure. Who?
The crossing gourd.
Oh, the gourd. Because it's a pumpkin. I get it. That's funny. Good one.
Good morning, friends. How is the weather where you are? Here it's raining cats and dogs. That means it's raining a whole lot. So much rain, I can't even go outside and play. But that's okay, right? There's so much to do inside, too. Ooh, guess what? Remember my mom had to take my grandma to the hospital? Well, my grandma called me today. She said she's coming home today. I am so excited. If you prayed for her with me, thank you so much. She's doing better and said I can come over later once the rain stops. But in the meantime, there's this puzzle I never got to finish. Do you like puzzles?
We love puzzles.
Yay, I love puzzles too. I love how I can only see one piece at a time until all the pieces come together and the big picture is completed. While I put this awesome puzzle together, let's check out today's Bible story.
It's time for today's Bible story. We're back in the book of Job. When we left Job last week, he was talking to God and going to God with his big feelings. Isn't it comforting to know that we can do that and go to God?
And when we cry out to God with our big feelings, God not only hears but cares, but God answers. And that is what happens in today's Bible story. God answers Job's cries, but God doesn't answer them in the way we think God might.
Remember, Job was going through a pretty rough time, and a lot of really bad stuff was happening to him. Remember, he lost his family and everything he had. Job probably wanted to hear God say, everything is going to be okay, and then take away all the bad stuff in his life.
But that's not how God answered Job. In fact, God answered Job by asking some questions. First, God asked Job if he was there when God created the world, which Job wasn't. God asked Job if he can build mountains or control the weather. Of course, Job couldn't.
God's not being a meanie by asking these questions. God is just trying to get Job to see something called the big picture.
God wanted Job to remember that God is in charge of everything in the whole world Job didn't know anything about. God was showing Job that there was so much more happening than his own problem.
What Job was going through was hard. Really, 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 really hard. He lost everything and was in a lot of pain. Job was doing the right thing by talking to God about this. And God cared about Job so much.
But we can't forget that we see only a small piece of a much bigger picture because God doesn't.
God sees the big picture.
So here it is. The puzzle is finished, and this is so different from where it started. We began with small pieces that seemed to make no sense, but then we put it together. It makes one big picture. It makes me think about the Bible story, when Job didn't know why bad things were happening, but God helped him see that only God knows everything. Even though we don't, we can trust God will take care of us. Today's big idea is God sees the big picture. Can you say that with me, friends?
God sees the big picture.
That also helps me understand what happened with my grandma. I was so sad that my grandma had to go in the hospital. But she needed to go to the hospital so she could get the medicine she needed to get better. I was so scared and nervous. But God already knew how it would turn out. God saw the whole picture. Thanks for tuning in today and growing with me. Today was such a fun day. And look, the rain has stopped. Now we can go to my grandma's house. Catch you next time.
Did you hear about the spiders who got married?
No. What was it like?
They had a huge webbing.
Oh, wow.
God's voice thunders in marvelous ways. He does great things beyond our understanding. Job 37:5.
Hi Journey Kids, my name is Isabel and my family and me love to go birding. And I'm going to tell you a few things that you might need when you're birding. First, these are the things that you're going to need in case of an emergency. Water, first aid kit in case you get hurt, and your parents' cell phone in case there's an emergency. And you should always dress for the weather. Like if it's really hot, you should have sunscreen and a hat. And if it's really buggy, you might need a bug net and some bug spray. And if it gets cold, you should always bring extra layers. And if it's rainy and your feet get wet and you're not wearing rubber boots, always pack an extra pair of socks. Me and my family always like to pack case we get hungry. And here are the essentials that you need for birding. A pair of binoculars to be able to see the birds up close. And you might need a camera to take some awesome photos. And a bird book to be able to identify all the different kinds of birds. Or an app on your parents' phone. You should always wear sneakers or hiking boots. And you should always wear a hat with a beak. Because it's really hard to look through binoculars with sunglasses. And then you're good to go.
Well, you heard it. Our God sees the bigger picture. So let's say it out loud. Ready? 1, 2, 3. God sees the bigger picture. Now make sure to tune in for next week's episode of JKTV to find out what happens with Job and Carl.
Oh, hey, kids! Welcome to Grow TV! That's JKTV, yeah.
Evan,
Oh.
walk towards me.
Ah! Alright.
Have you tried the rhyme?
Messed up.
You don't know about the rhyme. You don't know about the rhyme. That's what everyone
Lindsay, last time I checked, you don't have a British accent.
Well, why can't I?
And
You get to have
I
a
think you're
really
making
high
fun of
pitch.
Sheldon. Trying to do an in this voice is really hard.
I think that's what
Okay. Maisie, we're trying to be serious and get through this.
That's right. And guess what? God talked back to
Maisie,
Job.
that was my line, man. I nailed it.
That's your.
That's my line. Shocked face with a weird noise.
All right.
Isn't it comfortable? Isn't it comforting? Isn't it comforting? I keep saying that wrong.
Very good. Me. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing, but this time you're gonna say, God sees the big picture. Okay? It's the exact same thing, but God sees the big picture.
God sees the big picture.
Wait a minute, okay, Levi? This time, just wait a second. Okay, so everybody's got a big smile. Everybody's got their hair out of their face. Everybody's super excited. Woohoo! Okay, so.
God's voice thunders beyond.
That was me. I missed you myself. Okay.
Job 3:7:5.
Okay, you're gonna say the reference one more time. It's Job. So it looks like Job.
Looks like Job.
So that was good, but it's Job. It's the name.
Job 3:7:5.
37. Alright, that was my fault. Sorry guys, I got so excited with the 3 and the 7.
There we go.